Hi, my name is Melanie Stevens, and I am doing a presentation for EL 356, Methods of Teaching Reading and Language Arts. My topic for this video is strategies for teaching English language learners, and I have a PowerPoint that I will present, and I will also be answering questions via the discussion board forum, and I would be happy to answer anything that you have for me. I will get started with the PowerPoint now. 10 simple strategies for teaching English language learners. One of the most important parts of teaching any student is to know them. Understanding your student's background, how they learn, and what motivates them is very important. This information will help you effectively implement strategies that will help them achieve academic success. Use closed captioning. This allows the student to connect with the material by hearing, seeing, and reading the information that is presented. This is all happening simultaneously, but it gives them 3 different connections. If a visual presentation is used, make sure the speed allows time for the students to read what is being presented. Another thing that you can use with the visual presentation, like a PowerPoint, is the ability to make a handout or booklet to go along with that to give to the students that might struggle with connecting with a visual presentation on a screen as a secondary resource. Speak slowly. If you've ever heard someone speaking a foreign language, it probably seemed like they were speaking at 100 miles an hour. By slowing down your speech, you give the students time to process what has been said. Adding longer natural pauses to your speech can aid in this. Don't be afraid of silence or to repeat what's been said more than once. Write down key terms. This is especially important when they are not terms that your students are familiar with or their vocabulary terms that will be important to the unit you're studying. As you talk about them, write them down. This will give the students a visual and an oral representation of the term. Link the terms to prior knowledge if possible. Anytime you activate prior knowledge in a lesson, you make the lesson more meaningful to the student. Model activities. Act out what you want the students to do. If you want them to put a paper in the basket, then show them putting the paper in the basket. If you're going to use a computer program, show them what the outcome's supposed to be and the steps that they're going to need to get there. When you're speaking, use gestures to make your point. If you want something long, show them that you want it long. This gives more impact to what you're saying. If you want something put on a line, show putting it on a line. Use journaling. One of the articles that I read suggested that journaling could be the single most powerful tool in increasing self-esteem and in exploring the sense of identity. Encourage your students to focus on letting their thoughts and ideas flow, not to focus on spelling and grammar. This can be a real freedom factor for students that really struggle in the spelling and grammar errors of the English language. Also, give students the option to share what they have written if they want to. This can give them a chance to share their frustrations, the problems, and it also lets your other students identify with that and realize that a lot of them are having the same issues and stuff, and it just kind of gives an outlet to that. Use hands-on learning. Learning is usually more fun and more meaningful when you are actively involved in it. This also gives students a chance to demonstrate knowledge that a language barrier may prevent them from sharing in another manner. You may be surprised what your students actually know, but they can't communicate without showing you. Use pictures and graphics. We've all heard the saying, a picture's worth 1,000 words, I'm sure. And in this case, I think that it couldn't be more true. Whenever possible, include pictures or graphics that show the meaning of the word, sentence, or idea. This can help clarify something that might be misinterpreted otherwise. Make a picture glossary. Use flashcards to make a glossary of terms. These can be general terms, they can be terms that are used only in your classroom, but I think it would also be beneficial for word wall terms, and I think that this would be a great idea to introduce a new unit of literature and its associated vocabulary, and also for similar things that you might see in content areas like science or math that have different things that are associated with them. Even with math, you could have the term and then have an example beside it in your picture glossary. Use graphic organizers. In most every article that I read about ELL students, it really encouraged you to use graphic organizers. I think that this is a great idea for not only ELL students, but all students. Graphic organizers show relationships between new and existing concepts, and they encourage meaningful learning while requiring just minimal language input. And use available resources. The internet offers a plethora of resources, including dictionaries, thesaurus, and translators that can be used as aids in learning. One resource that I really liked that I found was a reading-based resource, and it's found at this website, which I see is a little bit difficult to see on the video, but hopefully you will be able to see it better on the handout. This website was specifically designed for learners of English. It offers articles that have been rewritten so that they can be more easily understood, and there are literally hundreds of topics available on this. I think that this is probably one of those diamonds in the rough and just a gold mine of a resource that will be very valuable if you ever are in the situation where you are teaching an ELL student. These are the references that I use putting this PowerPoint together. That concludes my presentation PowerPoint. I will, as I said, be answering questions via the discussion forum, so anything that you have a question on, be sure to ask, and I would be more than happy to answer that. Also, I hope that Mrs. Sarver was able to give you copies of this PowerPoint as far as a handout goes, because the resources that I had just had tons of great information, and of course you can't cover everything in a short video. So if you, or I should say when you have an ELL student in your classroom, this could be really a great resource for you to be able to connect with them on a better level and just make your teaching to them more effective. I will be uploading a separate video with the Mistake Buster technique. That is a hands-on learning activity that I think that you guys will really enjoy and will be something that you can implement in your future classroom. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.